Hello, this is Enterprise Television News Headlines. I am Kenny Omoshibi. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has called on the federal government to forget the proposed hike in the excise duty on alcohol and tobacco products. Man says the firms producing the products will shut down and increase job losses if it goes ahead to implement the proposal. However, federal government had on March 11 approved an amendment to the excise tariff rate for alcoholic beverages and tobacco products, which will come into effect on June 4, 2018. The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adelson, has stated that the President, Muhammadu Buhari, had granted a grace period of 19 days to manufacturers of the affected products before the new duty regime would go into effect. Oil marketers have commenced a reduction of their workforce due to their inability to pay staff salaries. Some of the marketers confirmed they resorted to adopt a massive sack of their workers as the federal government of Nigeria had yet to pay an outstanding 615 billion naira debt. They said they did not have any other option to control that increasing debt burden of borrowing to pay salaries than to embark on staff disengagement. According to them, the majority of marketers are indebted to banks because of funds they borrow to pay workers' salary. However, they urged the federal government of Nigeria to hasten action on the payment of outstanding debt owed to marketers in order to help them sustain their businesses. African leaders agreed to form $3 trillion continental free trade zone encompassing 1.2 billion people. Its two biggest economies, Nigeria and South Africa, did not sign up, diminishing its impact. The African Union started talks in 2015 to establish a 55-nation bloc that would be the biggest in the world by member state. This is in a bid to increase intra-regional trade, which sits at measly 15% of African total commerce. Rwandan President Paul Kagame, host of an African Union summit called to conclude the initial negotiations, declared the meeting a success after 44 African nations signed up to establish the free trade bloc within 18 months. The International Monetary Fund says Senegal could endanger its low-risk debt rating if the West African nation doesn't retain some of the $2.2 billion for 2019. Enterprise Television learned that Senegal sold €1 billion of notes on March 6 and a separate $1 billion tranche on the same day, which lifted the nation of about 15 million people's total debt stock by more than a fifth to $10.2 billion. According to Ecobank Transnational Incorporation, Senegal is in the third year of the policy support program with the IMF, under which the country invited Washington-based lenders to advise, monitor, and endorse its policy. Facebook Incorporation Chief Executive Mark Zuckerberg apologized for mistake his company made in how it handled data belonging to 50 million of its users. He promised tougher steps to restrict developers' access to such information. Facebook is facing allegations that London-based political consultancy Cambridge Analytica improperly accessed user information to build profiles on American voters that were later used to help elect US President Donald Trump in 2016. Zuckerberg said his plan did not represent a big reduction of advertisers' ability to use Facebook data, which is the company's lifeblood. Zuckerberg said he was open to additional government regulation and happy to testify before the US Congress if he was the right person. Moving down to sports. The English Football Association revealed that it was able to invest a record €127 million across all levels of the domestic game during the 2016-17 season. The investment, which represents a €2 million increase on the €125 million committed in the 2016-16 season, included an 8% year-on-year increase in funds for coaching, while the Football Association also invested €22 million to further its playing facilities for all initiative. Confirmation of the record investment came as the national governing body also reported year-on-year growth across various key financials. Broadcasting and sponsorship remained the Football Association's largest source of income, while a number of major events at Wembley Stadium in London also boosted financials. And that's it on Enterprise Television News Headlines for today. For more news, updates, special reports, and our shows, visit our website www.enterprisetv.tv. Our social media platform are always there for your all-round information in the world of business. I am Kenny Omoshibi. Many thanks for watching.